boys and girls. Welcome to my first YouTube video. The purpose of this video is to introduce a new lesson. After this video, you will be given an assignment to complete. This is lesson 16, multiplying fractions and word problems. Let's start with the learning objective of this lesson. Objective: I can solve real-world problems involving multiplication of fractions and mixed numbers using visual models and equations. In this video, we will be working on Day 1 Introduction. Let's make sense of the problem. Grayson lives 4/5 mile from the park. He has already walked 3/4 of the way to the park. How far has Grayson walked? Let's look at the first problem. What is the problem about? I'm going to give you a few seconds to think about it. Good job. So the problem is about Grayson walking to the park. Now go ahead and read the problem again to yourself. And after you read the problem, think about this question. What are you trying to find out? Excellent work. So to answer the question, what are you trying to find out? We're trying to find out how far Grayson has already walked. Let's read the word problem one more time. Remember, it's very important to read the problem 3 times to really understand what we're trying to solve. Grayson lives 4/5 miles from the park. He has already walked 3/5 of the way to the park. How far has Grayson walked? Now let's look at the third question. What information is important? The first thing you should think about is, what are the important numbers in this problem? And let's go ahead and highlight or circle what those numbers are. If you guessed 4/5, you're correct. And if you guessed 3/4, you're also correct. Now, what are the clue words that are going to tell us what operation to use? I'm going to give you a few seconds to think about it. I can assume that some of you said addition because it says, how far has Grayson walked? How far? Automatically you think addition. But there's another clue word here that tells us that it's not addition. And that is the word of. When you see a sentence in the context of he has or already walked 3/4 of the way, that means multiplication. Now, I want you to go ahead and write me an equation. How would we solve this problem? Put together what we just talked about. I'm going to give you a few seconds. We are trying to find out what 3/4 of 4/5 is. And if we change the word of for multiplication, our equation would be 3/4 times oh, what are the chances that I get a phone call right now? All right, let's continue, boys and girls. Blooper. This part right here is a blooper. Equals. So this is what we need to figure out. So let's draw area model to represent how far Grayson lives from the park. So this is Grayson's house, and this is the park that's by Grayson. The problem tells us that Grayson lives 4/5 mile from the park. So this area model is going to represent 4/5. I'm going to look at my denominator. My denominator is a 5. So that means there's 5 equal parts. So let me go ahead and split my area model into fifths. I have 1 equal part, 2 equal parts, 3 equal parts, 4 equal parts, and 5. Not really equal, but it's okay. It works for the problem. And now I'm going to shade in 4 of those 5 equal parts. And that represents how far he lives from the park. He started walking, Grayson, he started walking, and he walked 3/4 of that way. So now we're going to split this 4/5 into 3/4. So my denominator is a 4, so I'm going to split this horizontally into fourths. Okay, now I'm going to shade in 3 fourths. Now we can solve. Let's count how many parts are double shaded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 parts are shaded. And how many equal parts are there? Well, we know there's 12 already. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Can you think of another way we could have solved this? I'm going to give you a few seconds to think about it. Yes, we can use standard algorithm. So when multiplying fractions, all we have to do is multiply the numerator times the second numerator. So 3 times 4 is 12. And now we have to multiply the denominators. 4 times 5 is 20. We have 12 twentieths. Now let's think about 12 twentieths. Let me scroll down here so we can look at it a little bit better. Well, let me clear the page first. Second blooper of the day. We have 12 twentieths. What can you tell me about this number? 12 twentieths. Is it in its simplest form? Is this the smallest this fraction can be? If you guessed no, then you're correct. We have to simplify this number. And in order to simplify, we must look for the greatest common factor 12 and 20 have. So let's think about the greatest common factor of 12 and the number 20. So 12, 1 is a common factor. 2 because 2 times 6 equals 12. 3 because 3 times 4 equals 12. 4 because 4 times 3 equals 12. 5, no. 5 times no number can give you 12. What about 6? Yes, 6 times 2 gives you 12. What about 7? No, 7 times no number gives me 12. What about 8? Neither. 9, negative. 10, no way. 11, nope. 12, yes. So these are the factors of 12. Now let's think about the factors of 20. 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. So what is the greatest common factor that 12 and 20 have in common? I'm going to give you a few seconds to think. Correct. It is 4. So I'm going to go ahead and divide 12 divided by 4 and 20 divided by 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3, and 20 divided by 4 is 5. So let's look at the question. How far has Grayson walked? Well, Grayson has walked 3/5 of the way. Grayson has walked 3/5 of the way. Okay, thank you boys and girls for joining me on my YouTube page today. And after this lesson, you're going to see a worksheet that is attached to it. Go ahead and solve it and hand it in. Have a great day, boys and girls. Goodbye.